Good afternoon, everyone. We are going to get started with our Canvas introduction in just a moment. Okay, so we're going to wait and see if anybody else joins our call, so then we'll get started. Yes, we're going to talk. We're waiting just one more minute before we get started so we can make sure everybody gets on the call. Hey, Jamas. All right, let's go ahead and already start. How are you, Jamas?
Now you gotta turn back off.
Adik.
How are you, Jamas?
Adik.
How are you, Jamas?
Now you gotta mute again, because otherwise we'll be repeating over and over again.
Adik.
Your mic's still
I
on.
thought-
There she goes. All right. So welcome to your Canvas introduction. My name is Mr. Sorrells. Most of you already know me. I am going to be your virtual learning coordinator for this year. I am also teaching Honors Math 2 and dun, 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 Theater Arts. For those of you that may take that elective in high school, you might have me as your teacher. And I know you're super excited about that. All right. So what we're going to do today is talk a little bit about Canvas, how to navigate the website, and what to expect from your teachers in your Canvas courses. Most of us used Canvas back in the spring. If you were here with us at Glow, if not, this is a great time to ask those questions. I'm going to be sharing my screen with you, and when I do so, I won't have access to the chat feature. So if you do have questions throughout this session, I do ask that you put those questions in the chat. And when I'm done with my presentation, I'll come back and answer all of those questions, okay? All right. Let's see. All right, I'm going to go to my Canvas modules. Mrs. Majeski Turner, if you cannot see my screen in about 30 seconds going through the Canvas module, will you let me know? Great, thank you. All right, so for those of us that are new, and just as a refresher, when you sign into Canvas, you are going to see something that's called your dashboard. And that dashboard is going to have tiles. These little squares are called tiles for each of your classes. You should only have 5 tiles. If you still have tiles that are showing up from the spring, just reach out to one of your teachers and we can help you take those off your home or on your dashboard, okay? That way only the 5 tiles that you have for each of your classes show up here. Now, if you're taking any classes not through Canvas, then you will have only the number of tiles for the classes that you're taking, okay? So your account, clicking on that tab, pulls up some information about you. You can click on Profile, and you'll see your profile. You can edit that as necessary. When you click on Settings, it gives you some other information as well. And those are the only two pieces that you're going to need to access from your account, okay? We ask that you don't change your name to anything else except for what your teachers know you by, because this full name and your display name are what we use to grade in the grade book. So if we don't recognize your name, it's going to be difficult to know who the grade corresponds to, okay? Clicking on Dashboard, again, you'll see those tiles for all of your classes. You can also access your classes by clicking on the Courses tab. In doing so, will bring up a list of your classes, okay? The calendar link just shows you some, just that, the calendar, and then your inbox can be used to email your teachers if you have questions. You can email them directly through Canvas, which is a pretty great feature for you all, okay? So now from here, we're gonna jump right into my theater arts class. We're gonna use that as a demonstration tool to show us what our Canvas may look like, okay? So when you sign in or click on one of your tiles to access your courses, it should look like this. This is called your home page. You may have a number of announcements at the top. So one thing from back in the spring, we need to make sure that we click on the announcements and read those. These are also pushed out to your emails, so you'll get the same information in your email as well. But these announcements have some pretty important information based on what you need to do for the week, okay? You'll get these announcements on Sunday, every Sunday before the week starts. Scrolling down, it'll tell you exactly what you need to be doing each day of the week, and also include the assignments that you're going to be graded on for that week as well, okay? The announcements will help you prioritize your time and know what you need to get done. After you check your announcements, I encourage you to check those every day, just in case a teacher has posted a new announcement for the day. You will get an announcement once a week on Sundays, but you may get other announcements as well throughout the week, okay? Clicking on modules, this will take you to your actual content. Now notice our tabs are only home, announcements, modules, grades, conferences, and syllabus. You may have Google Drive as a tab in your class if your teacher has linked items in from Google Drive. There are not there are not assignments or quizzes listed here because we need you to access your content from modules. You will still have an assignments and quizzes and discussions in all of your classes at some point, but you'll access all of that information straight from the modules tab. So clicking on modules, it'll show you the different modules that are listed for your course, and you're going to go through them in sequential order. Your teacher is going to have these modules listed here in sequential order as well. You'll know where to access your content based on the title of your module. So this one, week 1, this is the module for this week, August 17th through the 21st for my theater arts students. It'll also tell you a little bit about what you're doing. For my theater arts students, we are reviewing the 3 W's of theater arts. That's the who, the what, and the why, okay? Clicking on your weekly overview and to-do list, that gives you an introduction to your lessons and activities for the week. So my theater arts students are doing an introductory unit, talking about the who, what, and the why of theater arts. We'll learn about the global history of theater and the communication elements that convey a story. In addition, we'll learn how to analyze literary texts and performances. This is their to-do list for the week. So as long as students check off the items on that to-do list, they should be good to go, okay? Now, in order to progress on, you don't have to click back on modules and go to the next one. You can just scroll down and click the next button at the bottom right. This progresses in a sequential order, and you really want to make sure that you go in that order in order to get all of the content necessary for the week. okay? Your Learning Resources tab will tell you some information daily about what you're going to be doing for each day. This is just like the weekly overview, but a daily overview. So for my theater arts students on Monday, we created a title page in Google Docs. By the end of the week, we were going to analyze the concept of theater arts and analyze the social, historical, and cultural context of theater arts as well. I introduced their assignment that they were going to get on Friday so they could start thinking about it. And these were the things that they were going to need for Monday's task. So again, your Learning Resources page will just give you an introduction to what you're doing for that specific day. Now, clicking next to move on to the next page, we have an asynchronous practice. Your asynchronous practice is going to be your introduction and content for that particular day. So I did a video for my students to walk them through their syllabus, to introduce them to those components and make sure that they had all of that information. After they watched the video, they were going to complete this vocabulary assignment, and there were the instructions on how to do so. Virtual learning is a lot different than being in person, because in person you can ask questions if you don't understand something. So a lot of times these instructions are going to be pretty explicit and direct, written out, okay? Clicking the next button, your synchronous classroom. We did not have a synchronous class on Monday, but I gave them a video to watch just for fun, talking about the history of theater, which ties into our content for the week. A little bit about your synchronous classroom. You're going to get some more information about that later this afternoon when you talk about your leadership advisory class. So Mrs. Stepansky, I think, is going to go over that for you today. But you'll learn the difference between synchronous and asynchronous and when you're actually going to meet with your teachers live, okay? When you meet with your teachers live, the link for that will be here on your synchronous classroom page. You do not meet with your teachers every day, okay? And Wednesday is a completely asynchronous day itself, so you don't have any live classes on Wednesday at all, all right? Moving on to the next page, we see our week or our daily assignment. So the students would just submit their assignment here, okay? I'm going to go back to modules to show you the layout of this a little bit more. You'll notice that there's a learning resource page for every day. There's an asynchronous practice. You will not have a synchronous classroom page for every day. The synchronous classroom page will only show up on the days that you have a synchronous class for that course, okay? So just like we did in the spring, you'll progress through each page in sequential order. You'll have different assignments throughout the week, so make sure you stay on top of those, okay? This is not broken down in the same order that we did in the spring, so make sure that you are looking at the specific day and the tasks that you need to complete on that day. Now, I know you want to know about the grade book. This is the same as it was in the spring. You just click on grades to see your grade book. Okay, for this test student, they are missing this assignment because it was due on the 18th. They haven't turned it in, all right? We should all know that that has the due date, so this tells you when it is due. Your status will show up late if you turned it in after the due date. It'll show missing if you haven't turned it in yet. This little dash line here tells me that I don't have a submission for this piece. If you've submitted the assignment and it's not been graded, then, and you actually submitted something through Canvas, there will be an icon here, okay? The out of tells you how many points you could earn for that particular assignment. Now, scrolling down, you'll see the total points. This number at the bottom are the total number of points that you could accumulate. And the number on the top is going to be the total number of points you earned. When you divide those two, it'll give you a percentage. And that percentage is going to be shown up here at the top right where it says total. and it will actually give you a grade. So right now, my test student has an F because they haven't turned anything in. Now let's talk a little bit about our conferences tab. Your conferences tab, which is access denied here, is a way that you will be able to meet with your teachers. Your teachers may set up conferences for you to access in your courses. And a conference is very similar to a Zoom meeting or a Google meeting like we're doing right now. You'll be able to, there's a chat feature, there's a whiteboard feature that teachers can draw on and show you different pieces. You can answer questions, you can take polls, all different types of really engaging pieces for students, which is pretty cool. But it's embedded right here into Canvas, which is also a convenient feature. So if you do have a conference instead of a Google Meet, your teacher will give you that information as well. Okay, so let's go back and see if it'll just go back to the, yeah, there we go. Let's talk a little bit about the syllabus. Your syllabus is listed here under the syllabus tab. You can click the link to download the document, or you can click the magnifying glass to preview it on the same page. Your syllabus gives you an introduction to the course and a course description here. It also, just like the home page, has your instructor's name, the remind code, your email address, and the teacher's office hours. All teachers have office hours on Wednesdays from 1:30 to 2:30, and whenever else they've decided, if they have decided to have office hours outside of that window of Wednesday. Okay. Scrolling down, you'll see descriptions of each of the units that your course is broken down into. You'll also have information about how teachers are going to be taking attendance on remote learning days, how your grading is broken down, and all of that information. So your syllabus has some really great pieces that you need to be familiar with. Okay. Oh, the last thing I want to show you is the course summary. This is a list of all of the assignments that the teachers have input into Canvas so far. So you can look at those and say, oh yeah, I've done that. Yes, I've done that as well. Very similar to your grades, but your grades just don't show up here. Okay. I'm going to leave student view and show you the conference tab here so you can see what it may look like from your end. When you click on conferences, it will pull up something that looks like this. If there's one for you to join, it will have a blue button over here on the right that says join. Okay. And that is all I think that oh, let me show you the homepage real quick. I know I showed it to you, but I forgot to scroll down, I believe. Scrolling down on the homepage, you have your teacher's information, their contact email. If they have a Google Voice number, that'll be listed. Office hours and the remind code. Some teachers have also posted their synchronous and asynchronous schedule. This schedule is the same across the whole school. So all students on Monday have their Core 1 class from 10 to 11 o'clock. Okay. Again, Ms. Stepansky is going to go over this schedule with you as well during your leadership advisory. Okay. Your weekly course schedule is a breakdown of, let's click on it and have it pull it up. It's a breakdown of the things that you're graded on each week. So for week 1, my theater arts students are going to get a grade for their Do I Know What These Words Mean graphic organizer, their theater arts timeline assignment, and their My 3 Titles writing assignment. Okay, so you have access to that as well. So that's all I have with the Canvas portion. I'm going to go to the Google chat and see if there are questions that I can answer. All right, so would it be best to log into Canvas today? If you still have your account from the spring, you certainly may try to go ahead and log into that account and make sure that you can get in. Your teachers will have to send you some enrollment links for you to enroll in your classes, okay? And Layla, your Canvas doesn't work. Well, you reach out to either myself or one of your teachers, and we will help you get into Canvas, okay? I'm going to include my email address in the chat, so anybody that needs my assistance can reach out directly to me. You may also reach out to any of your teachers, and if it's something that they cannot help with, they can forward that information to me as well. All right? Layla, you already reached out to someone? Okay. Why don't you email me and you and I can see if we can get you set up to go, okay? Any other questions for the group? So if you are not here on campus today, then you should get those codes hopefully by the end of tomorrow. We just ask that you're patient. We're trying to get those codes out to students as quickly as possible so that you can enroll in your courses, okay? Great. Thank you, Ms. Jones, for that. Any other questions? All right, I'm going to hang on to the call for about another 2 minutes. If you don't have any other questions, you're free to go ahead and jump off the call. Otherwise, I'm going to hang out until 12:25 and we'll end the session. All right, thank you so much, everybody. Emma, are you using a laptop that you got from Chrome? Or I mean, from Chrome, from Glow? Okay. Do you have a device at home right now that you can use for Canvas? Okay. We will take that note and see if, were you planning on getting a device from Glow at some point to use? Okay. So Emma, if you continue to have issues, just reach out to us and we'll see if what we can do to help you troubleshoot all of that. Okay. You are most welcome. Again, my email is in the chat, so why don't you just write that down just in case you have issues, or reach out to any of your teachers. Okay. Well, that's all that I have for today. You all have a great rest of your afternoon. Yeah, I can put it in there again. There you go. You're welcome. Have a good afternoon. I'll talk to you later, okay? Thanks. Bye-bye.